Reacher Season 2 Episode 4 presents a bittersweet symphony. The first 3 episodes in Reacher Season 2 delivered a more unsettled hero than fans have come to expect from the former special investigator for the U.S. Army Criminal Investigation Division. Reuniting with his former unit after some of them were killed shook him, but not as much as the notion that one member is still alive and responsible for the deaths of their colleagues. A man of action driven by facts and observation finds himself in the center of a mystery that challenges what he believes in ways he never thought possible. A Night at the Symphony ends with a proper Reacher fight sequence, where the surviving members of the 110th Special Investigators Unit prove they can hold their own. However, the most intense sequence in the episode involves a character viewers have only seen glimpses of. The mysterious A.M. was last seen fleeing the airport when all of his aliases were blown, thanks to Reacher and NYPD Detective Guy Russo sharing what they've uncovered in their respective investigations. AM spies a plastic surgery advertisement and gets an idea, strange since the scene prior stresses there are no photos of him anywhere. Instead of getting a new face, he kills the doctor and steals his identity. It's a chilling moment as he calmly talks to the man whose trachea he just severed. He's calm, describing the sensations the dying man is feeling as he slips off the doctor's glasses and steals his wallet. Reacher is a violent show, but the quiet cruelty of this scene is perhaps Season 2's most graphic death thus far. Season 2 remains an interrogation of Jack Reacher as a person, from what he believes to his drifter lifestyle. The titular symphony in this episode is where the special investigators hope to detain a crucial witness in their investigation. Reacher's strange aversion to possessions again comes into focus. The two women are attending the symphony, while O'Donnell and Reacher prepare to pose as FBI agents. When Reacher approaches his comrade, he's wearing a suit and carrying his boots. O'Donnell asks where his street clothes went, and Reacher says he threw them away. If I had any more clothes, pretty soon I'd need a suitcase. I got a suitcase, I need a house to keep it in. Then I need a car for the driveway. Before you know it, I'm filling out all kinds of forms. The moment is played for laughs, but it's more than that. In Season 1, Reacher seemed carefree and unencumbered. Around his former team, his avoidance of possession seems more like he's running from something. They have moved on from their lives in the army, finding work, and building a new life in the civilian world. To further this idea, O'Donnell and Reacher marvel at Neagley and Dixon in their evening gowns, especially the latter. With the exception of a pair of discussions with Neagley and O'Donnell, viewers would never know Dixon and Reacher were intimate in the second episode of the season. When O'Donnell talks about the joy of matrimony and family, Reacher says of his feelings for Dixon that she's a friend. His minimalist lifestyle may not be the strength it seemed in his first outing. As Roscoe Conklin correctly observed when he left Margrave, Reacher doesn't like sticking around. Season 2 makes that impulse seem less like the call of the wanderer and more like fear. Speaking of Margrave, a familiar face returns to the show in a gratuitous cameo appearance from Lieutenant Oscar Finley. In Season 2 of Reacher, Episode 4 is where the stakes hit their emotional peak, offering fans a roller coaster of action, intrigue, and a surprising dose of heartfelt poignancy. Titled A Bittersweet Symphony, the episode masterfully balances the series' gritty crime-fighting core with its unexpected emotional undertones. It's a chapter that delves deeper into the psyche of its titular character, Jack Reacher, showcasing his vulnerability in ways we haven't quite seen before. From the opening scene, the tension is palpable. The episode begins with a tight sequence of Reacher, played by Alan Ritchson, chasing down a group of mercenaries in a dilapidated industrial zone. His relentless pursuit is punctuated by the series' signature close-quarters combat, where every punch and kick feels like it could be the last. Yet this episode isn't about the physical clashes, it's about the internal conflicts that start to unravel Reacher's cool and calculated demeanor. The title, A Bittersweet Symphony, hints at the emotional arc the episode undertakes. For Reacher, a man who has lived his life off the grid, avoiding attachments and ties that might weigh him down, this episode thrusts him into a situation where he can no longer ignore his past or his connections to others. The symphony of action and emotion plays out like a tightly woven score, with each plot beat hitting a note that resonates long after the episode ends. At the heart of the episode is Reacher's reunion with an old flame, Maria, played by Eliza Bennett, who we learn is connected to the central mystery of the season. Maria's presence serves as both a trigger for Reacher's vulnerability and a reminder of the life he left behind. Their shared history is slowly revealed through flashbacks, showing a younger, less hardened Reacher. These moments contrast sharply with his present-day persona, where every decision is made with clinical precision. Through these glimpses into his past, we see a man once capable of softer emotions, of love and attachment, now deeply buried under years of violence and isolation. The chemistry between Richson and Bennett is electric. Their conversations are loaded with unspoken history, regret, and longing, making their scenes together some of the most compelling in the series. It's clear that Maria represents a chapter in Reacher's life that he never quite closed, and her reappearance stirs something in him that he struggles to suppress. What makes this episode particularly gripping is its pacing. Between the emotional beats, the show doesn't lose sight of its action-packed DNA. There are multiple chase sequences, a high-stakes infiltration, and a standout fight scene in a confined underground bunker where Reacher's brute strength and tactical brilliance are on full display. Yet, unlike in previous episodes, these scenes are tinged with a sense of desperation, as if Reacher is fighting not just for survival, but to protect something far more personal. A central theme in A Bittersweet Symphony is the idea of consequences of the past catching up to the present. Reacher's nomadic lifestyle has been built around the idea that he can walk away from any situation, leaving behind nothing but a trail of broken bones and criminals in his wake. But this episode challenges that notion. His reunion with Maria forces him to confront the reality that, no matter how far he runs, there are some things he can't escape. Maria herself is in danger, targeted by the same shadowy organization that Reacher is hunting, and for the first time, he faces the dilemma of protecting someone he genuinely cares about. The supporting cast also shines in this episode. Roscoe Conklin, Willa Fitzgerald, who has been a reliable partner to Reacher throughout the series, takes on a more prominent role in the investigation. Her sharp instincts and moral compass provide a stark contrast to Reacher's more ruthless methods, creating an intriguing dynamic between the two. There's a moment of tension where Roscoe confronts Reacher about his past with Maria, questioning whether his personal feelings are clouding his judgment. It's a rare moment of vulnerability for Reacher, who has always prided himself on his detached objectivity. The episode's climax is a masterclass in tension. Reacher and Maria find themselves cornered in a remote cabin, surrounded by mercenaries. The ensuing standoff is one of the most intense sequences of the season, blending physical action with an emotional showdown. Reacher is forced to make a choice: confront the enemies outside or face the emotional baggage inside. His decision, of course, is to take on both, and in true Reacher fashion, he fights his way through the mercenaries with brutal efficiency. But the real victory comes in the emotional resolution with Maria, where Reacher finally acknowledges the pain of their shared past. In the end, A Bittersweet Symphony is a turning point for Reacher Season 2. It elevates the series from a straightforward action thriller to something deeper, more reflective. The episode doesn't shy away from showing the emotional toll that Reacher's lifestyle has taken on him, and it